Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I was talking to my daughter this morning saying that I wish we had 24 hours added to every 24. I'm thoroughly enjoying this journey through all the royal scandals, crimes, and mysteries, and truly wish I had more time to go through it faster. When one Googles crime and mysteries linked to the royal family, you usually get the same 10 to 13 incidents. Yet, when you really go digging, there are likely hundreds, if not more. So, today I'm going to tell you about a woman who literally got away with murder because of her connection to a specific royal. It was nearly midnight on September the 10th, 1923, when, during a violent thunderstorm, three gunshots rang out somewhere in London's Savoy Hotel. The night porter rushed up to the fourth floor, where he found Princess Marguerite Farmy holding a pistol, and at her feet was her dead Egyptian husband, Prince Farmy. He had two bullets in the back and one bullet in the head. As the police arrived to take the princess away, her real, or shall I rather say, her previous identity became known. Princess Farmy was actually better known as Marguerite Alibert, a French high-class prostitute who was also the first lover of Edward, the Prince of Wales, who later became Edward VIII. Marguerite and Prince Edward had a passionate affair which culminated in a drama like none other, one full of infatuation, intrigue, blackmail, sex, murder, and a stash of secret letters. Marguerite Alibert was born in 1890 in Paris to poor parents. Her father was a coach driver and her mother a domestic servant. At 15, she was taken out of school and placed in a home where she worked as a servant. But she fell pregnant and was fired. She later gave birth to a daughter who was taken away and given to a farming family. Alibert was now homeless and she quickly turned to sex work. However, due to her beauty, she became a courtesan, meaning a high or upper class prostitute. The brothel owner, Madame Denard, described Marguerite as the mistress of all her best clients, gentlemen of wealth and position in France, England, America, and other countries. By the time she was 17, she was in a relationship with 40-year-old André Meller, who bought her an apartment so they could conduct their affair in private. Marguerite sometimes lied or pretended that they were married, but it was not true. André Melle was still married to his first wife and remained so. Even after the affair ended, Marguerite still sometimes used his surname. Marguerite met the then 22-year-old Prince Edward in 1917. It was towards the end of World War I, and Edward liked spending time partying in Paris while he was on leave from his regiment. Allegedly, the prince was infatuated with Marguerite at first sight, and they became lovers. The affair lasted for about a year at the very least. Regardless of all Marguerite's attributes and the prince's multiple trips to Paris, the affair fizzled out. But sorry to say, old Edward was a fool when it came to women. And if it wasn't for the several indiscreet letters he wrote to Marguerite, everyone, including Edward himself, could have forgotten that he ever enjoyed the company of this high-class courtesan. Because of this stupid mistake, or rather mistakes, multiple, Marguerite remained a thorn in Edward's side, as she refused to destroy those pesky letters. Edward wrote at least 20 letters to Marguerite, in which he often referred to her as mon bébé, my baby, and which he signed with the initial E. Marguerite taunted the prince by reminding him that she had the letters. Edward complained to friends, regretting writing the letters and wondering what he could do to get them back. However, regardless of it all, Marguerite did not hang around and sulk. She moved along swiftly, marrying wealthy Frenchman Charles Leroy and divorcing him shortly after in 1921. She converted to Islam shortly after that and married the rich Egyptian Ali Fahmy, who was nearly 10 years younger than her. Allegedly, the marriage was a complete disaster and plagued with domestic violence. After Marguerite shot her husband, she told police that they argued about money. She also told police that Fahmy repeatedly raped her until she could not take it anymore. But after all was said and done, Marguerite knew she had nothing to worry about because she had the ultimate bargaining tool, namely Edward's letters. According to Andrew Rose, who researched the debacle and wrote a book about it, the prince's protectors made a deal with Marguerite. Namely, if she returned all of Edward's letters, her freedom would be guaranteed. She also had to keep her mouth shut about the prince, and they would likewise ensure that her past life as courtesan would also remain hidden during the trial, and that the trial would instead only focus on Fahmy's violence. During the trial, Edward was sent to Canada for a royal visit, and at the time it appeared as if the salacious secret was indeed safe. Crowds lined the streets, wanting to catch a glimpse of the 32-year-old French beauty. Inside, the jury was told about the poor battered wife who snapped. There was no mention of her past as a sex worker, no mention of the prince. So Marguerite Alibert was acquitted and returned to Paris, where she lived until her death at age 80 in 1971. Marguerite Alibert's grandson told Andrew Rose that she had been looked after by at least 4 wealthy gentlemen well into her old age. To this day, those who know about this part of Edward VIII's past wonder why people consider his relationship with Wallis Simpson so scandalous, yet hardly ever mention his relationship with Marguerite Alibert. Many had, however, whispered behind closed doors that it was a blessing that Edward abdicated, as he was not in the least suitable to be king. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I am already researching the next one, and maybe if all goes according to plan this week, I'll post some additional material on this channel around midweek. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.